I would first of all explain the side, the Bharatiya side or the Indian side first. We would have words like when we are using or referring to the divine, we have words like Parmatma, Parmeshwar. Bhagwan is something which we refer to when there is a feeling towards someone or you experience divinity in someone. So it can be a human being. Normally, it's a human being that we refer. When we say Bhagwan, we can talk about Bhagwan Gautama Buddha, Mahavir Jain, or people like Guru Nanak, including Bhagwan Osho. Yeah. So these are people where we are revering them. We are saying that these are human beings, but they are something different. And different in the sense they are much higher than us in terms of consciousness. Basically, when we talk about spirituality, the way it is, see, you have to understand one thing. Bharat is the center of spirituality for the world, and it has always been. So there has been no other nation where the quest for spirituality has been inherent in its population. So now here I would want to ask you, when you say God, now you being in the US, what is the Western idea of God? Because God is not in you. When I understand people in the West talking about God, they're talking about creator. Now, the problem here is we in India have had this understanding for thousands of years that there cannot be a creator, and for which we have very clear reasonings as well. See, if you take the Western understanding of the word God, and they are saying that God, a God, the God, the fight in the West is all about a God or the God. So we are trying to say that there is someone who is responsible for the entire creation. And from what we understand, the misconception of the West is that this someone is a superhuman. The difference with the Western idea is that that superhuman has also created the buffalo. Because when you say the God, they mean to say that the God has created the entirety of creation. Now, here the problem is if you look at the Darwinian evolution theory, you would figure out that it was first microorganisms and human beings have come the last. So, definitely, creations before human beings, creation happened. So, that is why in the East, we in India or the sages, spiritual leaders in India had a very clear understanding that it can definitely not be a superhuman who is the origin or from whom the origin of creation happened. So here we do not accept God to be a human being. However, our understanding of God is, see, we know that, okay, again, here we have to understand something more important. When in Indian spirituality, we talk about awakening, we are talking about normal human beings to come out of their sleep, which is, so you may ask me, "Yeah, you just woke up and the day is starting. So obviously you're waking up. Waking up and awakening are two different things. Waking up is a normal day-to-day routine, biological, correct. But when we are talking about awakening, we are talking about awakening to your third dimension. See, we can see the body, right? So that physical dimension is one dimension. Then we know we have experienced our emotions and thoughts. So we know there is something within here, which is what we are calling or referring to as mind. Okay, so there is a physical dimension, there is a mental dimension. But when we are talking about spirituality, we are saying that beyond these two is another dimension, which is the spirit, the consciousness. Now, when we are talking about awakening, we are talking, yes, it's a greater superstition than any superstition on earth. Shiva is also energy. See, energy exists and in many, many forms. Now, when we talk about whether it is the Sanatani philosophy, whether it is Buddhist philosophy or Mahavir Jain's philosophy, there is always a talk about something called as Parmatma, supreme consciousness or universal consciousness. Okay. Now, I would like to bring your attention to other religions. Even in Christianity, Jesus is Son of God. But even when he is talking about the God, that God is formless, shapeless. He is not claiming to be a human being. That is the same that even in Islam, Paigambar also talks about Allah. Same is the concept with Buddhists. Buddha and Mahavir Jaina, or any person who has ever spoken about divinity, they have always mentioned one thing, that divine, the divinity that they have experienced is shapeless and formless. So it is that is what we in the East consider to be Paramatma, which is supreme consciousness. Matlab, all our consciousness comes from that part. Hence, we consider that to be God.